All right, let's watch the video.
Good stuff going on. First of all, thank you all for giving a P. All right, cool. What's up, everybody?
Yo, thank you for the Prime. And again, let me while we watch this, let me Sebby's Gaming. Thanks so much. Lyle,
The community manager of 2XKO.
do you know how to do giveaways?
Cool. What's up, everybody? I am Jules JP, the community manager of 2XKO, and we're joined by.
I'm Sean. I'm the game director.
And Bladestone.
So
Thanks so
we
much for
wanted to
Prime.
just talk to everybody because there's been a lot of really good feedback and discussion about 2XKO, the Alpha Lab, right?
Absolutely.
So let's get into it. I have my
Are
phone
you sure?
here,
Is that now?
because we have all of the notes and things we want to talk about. Yeah, this is
Okay, wait. All right, let's watch the video.
very off the cuff, so let's go ahead and do it.
Cool.
DM from
let's
you?
talk about
Okay.
all the highlights of Alpha
I
Lab,
will.
all the good stuff going on.
All right, so we
First of
got
all,
3
thank you
codes
all
to give
for
away.
Giving a ton of really cool clips. I've been seeing a lot of content, a lot of folks streaming, a lot of cool events, exhibitions, tournaments, and yeah, we've been seeing a lot of love.
You don't have
I've
it in
been
my
really
link? I see,
impressed
I see.
at the duo play that I've been seeing.
Yeah,
You know,
the duos
people
have been great.
pairing up.
I guess you
people
could,
onboarding
if
their
you have a
friends,
friend you could
some
share it with, you
hilarious
could probably
moments, some
share the
pop-offs,
private
so,
link.
Yeah, it's been really,
Like the first
really cool
link.
to watch.
There's been a lot of discussion around it. Too.
Yeah, dude,
And
this
all
is
the
me at
feed-
noon.
A
Hello.
lot of really good feedback and discussion. Everybody, all right,
On, I'm the
back on here. So let's go ahead and do it.
cool.
Let's
Ton of really cool
That's us, Kobe and Shaq. Let's go. We're the first clip.
clips. I've been seeing a lot of content, a lot of folks streaming, a lot of cool events, exhibitions, tournaments, and yeah, we've been seeing a lot of love. I've been really impressed at the duo play.
I
I've been
see,
seeing,
I
you know,
see.
People pairing up, people onboarding their friends.
Zeno, if you have a
some hilarious
code,
moments, some pop-offs.
can you
yeah, it's
send
been
me
really,
the
really
link
cool to
that it
watch.
gives
There's been a
you,
lot of
and maybe we
discussion
can
around it,
give
too.
someone else a code.
And all the feedback, which is what we really wanted to get from this.
Yep.
So a lot of it was around core gameplay. There's been discussion
Because like
around how
if you
long
click on the
combos
email link,
are,
that should
that
still
there are
be a
such
link.
as
Like
depth,
if you could copy that
complexity,
link, if you want to
tutorial.
give it away.
What
If
is
you
your
don't, then
whole
it's
take on
fine.
this? I know you made a blog post, but
I think like the first thing to know is that, you know, we're sharing this very early,
Yeah.
right?
And I
and
can
a lot
see
earlier
if it
than
looks
we
the
typically
same
do.
like the
And
other
I think
links.
the reason is we really wanted to see a lot of feedback so we could change it in time for release and just make it a better game. To
I think it's really cool that they're so down to like give honest response to the feedback and then like be actually ready to change
that
things.
note, though, you know, we heard a lot of feedback that people were having a lot of fun with combos, but also that some of them, you know, for some
what is
you
this?
typically would do.
Yeah, cool
and I
combo.
think the reason is we really wanted to see a lot of feedback.
Apology
so we
Man's the
could
best.
change it in time for release and just make it a better game.
I heard he's clearly the
To
best.
that
Dude.
note, though, you know, we heard a lot of feedback that people were having a lot of fun with combos, but
Wait,
also
how many
that
hits is
some
this?
of them.
Sorry,
you
I
know,
wanna-
for some
sorry,
in
I
time
just
for
wanna watch
release
the
and just
video.
make it a better game. To that note, though, you know, we heard a lot of feedback that people were having a lot of fun with combos, but also that some of them, you know, for some characters and some specific routes, either were actually too long or just felt too long. You know, that's one of the things we want to address. We want to find that sweet spot where you're getting back to neutral and having fun there, but also you're rewarded for being able to practice and execute on some pretty cool stuff, not just by yourself, but often with a friend as well.
I believe you spoke to it in your blog about the tutorial,
Yeah.
and that's one of the places where we definitely have plans.
Another great piece of feedback we heard from a lot of folks was, hey, they were like, this tutorial is pretty bare bones.
Yep,
And
yep.
they've been like actually giving us a lot of thoughts around things they want to see in it. I think just to kind of reiterate a couple of those, at a high level, folks wanted to see some combo trials with their champions. They wanted to see actual like first level strategy with the character. Where, you know, hey, if I
Grant
try this
Steven, I
character,
think you
what
need
should I
to
be
make an
doing?
account
As opposed
in a
to,
region that
hey,
works.
You know, I'm learning pulse in some of the basics. We also heard like, hey, I want to see more defensive mechanics shown right away so I can protect myself. And so these are all things we're considering and looking into and expect it to be a lot better in the next iteration.
I want to dig a little bit deeper into the touches of death and the overall complexity. Like, what are the thoughts around that with the team?
You know, we expected a lot of this. However, like we wanted to see additional ways that people were digging into this. And what do I mean? What do I mean by that? Well, we just tuned the damage up. We want matches to go a little bit more quickly, be a little bit faster paced and a little bit more explosive. But also,
There's an interesting thing. If people think the damage is too high, it's because they also recently, because they were having so many timeouts. They like changed this recently, right? So, like it's important to remember that like this amount of damage is kind of new. It's not like always been like this. The previous builds had less damage, but they were getting some timeouts, so they increased the damage. So now maybe they'll tune it down again.
you know, when paired with
Okay, Turquoise.
two
I'm gonna
champions,
send
like,
you.
hitting
I
a
we
single
have
character,
3
or
codes.
some of our fuses,
I'll
like
probably
Double Down, which
do
lets you combo
2
super
to
into
start.
super, or even Fury, which lets you, get a boost of extra.
I'll let
damage
some
when
more
you're
people
going
get in
health.
here.
These are some of the things we expected to see. We definitely saw folks pushing on a lot of the outliers where they would use multiple double down super and supers in a combo, as well as like using multiple OTG like on the ground hits. And so it was great to see all this and hear feedback on it. Ultimately, just to underscore, we don't want the game to be about touch of deaths, right? We want
It's
them to
really cool that
exist
they're
if you
just showing
spend a ton
further
of
clips
resources
of
and be
this.
rare. But if we're seeing them super frequently, it's something we want to address, and we're looking into that now.
I want to also ask you about the overall complexity of the game.
Honestly, I have never once been TOD'd, by the way. So it really is not as big of a... TODs are not as big of an issue. I do think the damage could be tuned.
A lot of discourse on both sides of people really loving how deep it is, and then other people feeling
this
that
is
it's too hard to get into. What is your take on it?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We talked a little bit about the pulse fuse and how we want to just get people to find the fun right away, hit some buttons, and we're seeing a lot of that. I think there's a little more we could do there as well. This actually kind of ties into onboarding and maybe unlocking moments later on where it's like, hey, like if you want to graduate, you can go into this like early player experience, check out this champion, see like how you can actually learn the routes from there. There's a lot of systems in this game. That's because we do want a deep game. We want like a crunchy, deep.
Go.
Like you can spend many hours in this game, and
Lasts
so
for years, right?
Yeah, and so like we also
This is such a big deal. They don't want a game that's good for a year or 2 or 3. They want a game that's fun for like, 10 plus. I think that's really cool.
recognize like there's an opportunity for players to say like, hey, cool.
If you
let me
want a
get in
code,
here,
we are
let me hit
doing a
some buttons
sub
and have some
giveaway
fun,
for one in
have
10
a really
minutes.
clear path to the
So,
next step. We don't want people to be overwhelmed and see all that stuff
be
right
ready.
away. And so it's a fine line to ride, and it's something that
I'm
we're
gonna
working on right
put
now.
on the
Yeah,
timer.
so that brings us into the next thing is matchmaking and netcode. I know there's been some Reddit threads, people are like, there's no matchmaking, but I feel like there's things going on under the hood that might explain it a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you select fight and you decide to invite a friend or not, you go into the lobby, under the hood, we're matching you up with folks of similar skill. We're also looking at a bunch of other considerations as well. We've definitely heard and seen a lot of feedback around folks getting matched with players in other regions with very high ping. And so this has been great because this has uncovered a lot more work we could do here. On top of that, though, I just want to be really clear. When folks are like, hey, like the matchmaking's not working, there's a lot of things that could be at play. Like we've also seen folks using Pulse Fuse versus folks that aren't early on, and those matches feeling very lopsided. And so that's one thing. I'll allude a little bit to.
Oh yeah, I think they pushed an update to the matchmaking too, or like the server regions. Do you hear that? High latency patches. Oh, I should try. I should try playing with
that we want to
EU
get
players
that we
again.
don't have yet. One of them is we want to be able to nudge you and give you a pop-up if your skill starts to deviate, whether you're getting too good for this current lobby or you're falling a little bit behind, and say, hey, like, do you want to go to another lobby? And a pop-up will appear. You can hit yes, and it'll put you into a more appropriate skill lobby. We also are going to have a feature later where if you get really far beyond the bounds, it'll be like, hey, we want to get you in another lobby just to ensure that you have a better experience, and it will send you to a new one. But in absence of those, today, if you're playing in the Alpha Lab, if you feel like, oh man, I'm getting beat up a lot in here, like why is everybody a bunch of killers? Or hey, like this is getting a little bit too easy. Maybe your win streak's going too high, too high in the sky. You can actually just leave the lobby and re-enter, and it will find you a more appropriate lobby. And so I strongly recommend that in the future. And then finally, like another thing that we're looking at is comeback potential. Matches can sometimes feel pretty lopsided. And so we're looking at Last Stand and seeing how well that's performing when it comes to comebacks and making the matches feel like you have a chance when you're down 1 champ versus 2. So that's a lot of feedback we heard as well, and we really appreciate it.
And I think too, with so many people,
You got a
coming in, it
code?
takes some time
No.
for that to kind of naturalize as well.
Light
Absolutely.
Ash, I think so much for Prime, by the way.
Hop back in if the lobby's too hard, exit out and hop back on. Cool. So to dig in a little bit more into the netcode, I've heard and seen reports of really good matchmaking and then sometimes not so great.
Mon Clown, thank you.
What is going on there? Can you elaborate a little bit?
That's a great question. So first of all, that's one of the reasons we're doing this test.
Yeah,
We're
we got
testing
2
in
codes
a
we're gonna give
couple
away
regions,
now in
just to
like 7
see,
minutes.
how folks
It's
are
for
doing
subs
marketing and
only
what
that
kind of
type in the
experience they're
chat. So
having.
you're not
So
competing
some
with
we're
the
looking into
600
actually
subs
right
that
now.
are
I
sub.
don't have
You're
a
only
specific
competing with the
answer
subs
for
that are
you,
actually
but,
here.
I would just want to say like, hey, if
And yeah, sub go
anybody's
mint.
experiencing like really weird connections or like super high ping, continue to let us know because that actually lets us like dig in even further. We just want to make a really good, clean experience, and so the more info we can get and feedback from folks, the better.
Oh, this one, peripherals. There's been a lot of peripheral issues, but I heard from Little Bird that there's something cooking.
Obi-Wan
that
Kenobi,
this is
thank
on
you.
our radar, right?
Yeah. So first of all, we
No,
wanna
Leap
thank
to
everybody
Silver is
for bearing
still
with
in
us
there.
on
It's
this.
just at
There's,
1,000.
We've seen a lot of pain around folks being like, hey, I can't get this peripheral to work, or hey, like it's
Tipster,
holding up
thank you.
forever, like a phantom up
The
direction.
thrill, I'm
or
gonna need sub.
any number of other
Okay,
issues.
do not sub.
So, yeah,
Okay,
this is something we're taking really
hold up. Do not sub if you don't actually just want to sub to. Don't sub if you hate me and you don't. The chance is still pretty low, guys. Like, if anyone has an extra code, I will keep giving them away. And a lot of people that already had a code got one today, but like, please don't.
seriously. Thanks to everybody that submitted tickets to player support, and please continue to do so, because that's helping us track everything, like what peripheral you're using, like where you're playing on PC or on console. And so all this information, we're collating it, and it's something that we're taking very seriously and going to address.
Yeah, one thing that I want to point out too, because you mentioned player support, they've been absolutely amazing. If you have any connection
Strap and
issues,
SR
or if
Harley.
you're stuck on login,
I will
please
also be doing
reach
a
out to player
hitbox
support.
giveaway,
We've
by
already
the way,
had a
at
number of
700.
people who've been able to get in after reaching out to player support. So just want to spread
Why
that
do-
word.
why
So
do I feel
make
like
sure to
a-
reach out to player support? We'll put the link in the, I don't know, bio? But
Or
we'll figure that
leverless.
out. Now that we've talked about peripherals, can we talk about the control scheme? Because I've seen people discussing, oh, I love it. Oh, I just can't get used to it. What is, like, as game director, what are you thinking when you see all of this?
Yeah, so we'll be the first to admit that we're trying something a little different. Having a special 1, a special 2 button, our light, medium, heavy, and then our team button, it's definitely a really different feel. We've heard a lot of mixed reviews. Folks that have never played fighting games, folks that have tried games, folks that go hardcore, even at pro level, give a lot of pros and cons, about our current setup.
Yeah.
And so, if you have thoughts, I'd ask folks to keep letting us know. It's something we're keeping an eye on and monitoring. And yeah, I just want to acknowledge that we've heard a lot of discussion
Thank you,
about it,
sir.
and we want to keep an eye on it. And like one thing I wanted to ask is for folks that have thoughts, any kind of thoughts on their layout, we'd also love to hear what peripherals they're using, because that makes a
Yeah.
big difference as well. We want to make sure the game feels good for your peripheral, no matter which one you're using. So let us know.
Another really big topic has been accessibility. I'm looking at your notes, and there's been really good notes from OGamer Sego, Aerial Combo, Blind Combat, and Kid Vision who have been talking about it. Can you talk a little bit about the team's philosophy in regards to accessibility?
Yeah, absolutely.
This
First
is
of all,
cool,
shout out
yeah.
to that group of folks and others who have hit us up about accessibility. We take accessibility very seriously. We want everybody to be able to enjoy 2XKO, and so we have some devs dedicated to this specifically. And I just want to call it, like, when the game comes out, it's going to be a bit bare bones. in that
Jarvan, thank you,
regard.
thank you.
However, we're going to continue to add features to that over time and make it better and better.
Overall, I'm very excited. I feel like the whole team's excited because this is working exactly how we wanted it to work, right? Like, this
Yeah.
is Alpha Lab in all of its glory of us learning so much about the game.
I can't say this enough. I know sometimes it could be hard to get your thoughts out there, and I really appreciate everybody hitting me up directly with feedback, with thoughts, suggestions, hitting up the entire team, really, whether it's content you're making, streams, literally comments on like a YouTube video, subreddit, you name it. Like, we're everywhere, and so, please keep it coming.
What is your perspective of taking in feedback, and how do we actually parse through it to make our decisions?
We often say here, and you probably hear me say it, that we're very data informed, not data driven. So, we're looking at the data, we're looking at the sentiment from players, we're looking at the player feedback, and we're playing the game.
I think
We're-
she's
we're
pretty good,
watching
yeah.
and seeing what's happened.
I wouldn't
across
say she's
all
top
skill
tier.
levels, and we use all that together.
Eddie
to
Merrick,
make
can you
decisions,
please-
but
Eddie
we
Merrick,
have
can you post that?
set of design goals and values for this product, and so we're going to stick to those. However, we're going to learn new information. We're going to evolve it over time. I want to be like crystal clear that, like, hey, we're not designing by committee, excuse me, but we are building the.
This is what I'm really happy about, by the way, because I fucking love this game. Like, do I have some monetary incentive to like this game? Yes. I think everyone can agree that, like, yes, obviously, if this game does well, they like me. I've done private things with them. I know some of these people. Like, I've stayed at Apology Man's house. He actually asked me, like, oh, do you think I should go work at Riot? Like, do you think I'd be good at it? I'm like, yeah. Like, I know some of these people. So I am very biased. Right? But I've also known people that develop other fighting games. I've known TOs. And you know that I've been an asshole to TOs, like, when I was a young kid. You know that I've been bitching about every game that I love, like Melee, like Strive. I have financial incentive to chill those games too, if you really think about it. But if you go onto my stream when I play fucking against in Guilty Gear and I play against Nagoriyuki, you will hear nothing but complaints. And you like, listen. I can understand that even though I love fighting games, I've always thought fighting games as an experience have been pretty and I've been very upfront about this. I made a fighting game tier list way back in the day. They just showed like, oh, there were like, this was like before Guilty Gear Strive, but there was like no fighting game in S tier because none of them had the features and the like community back to response and like good patch schedule. No fighting game has really nailed it, right? A lot of fighting games gut themselves in order to be like too casual friendly. They basically designed the game for people that won't end up playing it past the first, week, right? And so when I chill this game, like I promise you I'm chilling it because I love it. I could be playing Smash, I could be playing Street Fighter if I just wanted money. The reason why I'm so excited for this is because I really, really love this game. And I can't wait to see how it develops. So like, still take this with a grain of salt. You should never trust someone. You might not love it because I do, but I know there's a lot of people and a lot of my friends absolutely love this game so far. Is it finished? No. But for an alpha, this is like, oh, it's very encouraging. And I'm so happy that even though they're listening to feedback, they also have a vision. Because this is the problem. If a developer only designs by committee, by just listening to feedback, then the game just like gets really unfocused and it ends up becoming for no one because it's trying to appease for everyone. All right, we're doing a sub giveaway in 1 minute. 2 codes. So yeah, let us know. We'll finish this video actually. It's like
this with the
2
players,
minutes.
and what that means is that we're listening and we're taking that into account. We're not afraid
Unison,
of
thanks so
all our
much.
thoughts and our.
Let me see
our
if
baseline
Sparkles is here.
assumptions.
Yeah, from everything that I've heard from you in the past, you definitely want to keep the depth, but you still want to hear what everyone's experiencing so we can find new ways to address it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Even the stuff we talked about earlier around like a better onboarding.
And we're also
or,
doing a
you know,
hitbox
hey, like,
hitbox
matchmaking,
giveaway at
you know,
700.
Players are telling us, hey, like we want to make it easier to have quality matches early on. Yeah, we agree, and so we're going to look into that.
Thank
stuff.
you,
and
Angmar.
a lot of
Great.
times, the feedback we get lines up with stuff we want to do anyway, which is my favorite part. It's because we're all on the same page. Sometimes we're not though, and in those cases, we dig deeper and we talk through it and we figure out what's really going on.
The other thing that I've been seeing a lot is even though we let some more people in, I've still seen fan art contests. A lot of people want to get in. So if they didn't get in this Alpha Lab, when is the next time that they're going to get a shot? When's the next playtest? Great
question. So as you would expect, like we're getting a ton of feedback, and there's actually a lot of stuff we want to change in order to improve the game. So there's going to be some time. We need a little bit of heads down time to get this stuff in and also test it. But boy, we've heard a lot of folks that are like, hey, like, is there another wave coming? Can I get in? So yeah. What if we just let some more folks in tomorrow?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Can we just do it?
Yeah, I mean, can I do this? Can we do this? Is it? Can we? Great.
Jared says yes.
All right. So everybody around me is saying yes. So we're gonna let folks know this will be the last wave. There's not a lot of time left in Alpha Lab, but yeah, we heard y'all. Many more people want to play.
I wouldn't
so
say it's
why
really
not?
easy,
So be
but
on
it's
the
easy to
lookout
have
for another
fun.
wave.
Well, I appreciate
And
it. Everybody, remember to fill out your survey at the end of Alpha Lab.
Especially
And
Duos
we're
is
still gonna
amazing fun,
continue to
even if you've
monitor
never played a
social
fighting game before.
media, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. So
It has a high skill
appreciate it.
cap, but
Thank
it's
you.
not like
you.
a
Hit us up.
easy
Let us know what you
game,
think.
or like a baby game rather.